one person you're going to have to get on the podcast because, well, we're all Oscar mad here this morning.
Yeah.
And Paul Mescal, who, of course, has been nominated.
I
Did you've chatted to Paul before, haven't you?
I interviewed him years ago when Normal People was just coming out, when the pandemic was happening. The Normal People came out and BBC asked me to do a tweet along, like the co-video party, and interviewed Paul and Daisy on Zoom in their houses, and I'd seen about 3 episodes, and I think I was asking them mostly about. Well, there were quite exciting scenes happening in Normal People.
Yes.
That's my big memory of Paul, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. And then it's sort of, because everyone is now looking for the connection. Well, ever since Normal People, we've been like, I saw him walk down the road. I definitely saw him walk down the road.
If you shifted Paul Mescal when you were 15 and Maynooth, you'd be delighted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, you'd be saying that at Christmas. You'd
At
be
the
like
GAA disco.
an Oscar-nominated actor.
If you stayed over yours and left the gas shorts behind, yeah, absolutely, you're after a winner.
That would be worth a lot of money. I'd
You're
say
right.
more money than an Oscar.
We're going to have to get him back on for another chat.
Yeah,
follow-up.
absolutely.
Yeah, he's really easy to get these days. No, he's coming on here tomorrow. It's great.
Is he popping in?
He's popping in.
Isn't it?
We just had a conversation I didn't
Yes.
expect during the ad break, and that is you both in an intense discussion about Bluey, who is a children's cartoon character. You called it the what?
I called it the Breaking Bad of children's TV.
Okay.
Script structure, characterization. It's just very well made.
You write for children's TV?
Well, like, I'd love to write for Bluey.
You write Bluey.
I'd imagine that. Imagine that. But no, like, I write for children's TV occasionally, and like, you have to look at like what's the best kids TV show at the moment. And Bluey is the best kids TV show. You mentioned Baby Shark.
I watched something at the weekend called Baby Shark and the Fox, or something and the Fox.
Not to the same level as Bluey now.
No. That's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Very popular, but
Very popular.
Not good scripts. If
It was terrible. Yeah.
We're just saying, because that's all I get to watch television-wise is pretty much children's television, which is it's a kind of a sad state of
Bluey's
affairs.
not too bad.
Bluey's
Bluey's probably better than most adult
To be fair,
TV
it's probably
shows.
at my level, actually.
Is it?
So it's probably right. Listen, let's talk about you.
Yes.
How is life? I mean, the podcast is flying. You're a busy woman.
Podcast is flying. So I have a podcast called Wheel of Misfortune. We started it with Fern Brady, who's like my best friend in comedy. And then she got a book and Taskmaster and couldn't do it anymore.
That's what I was wondering, because I'm obsessed with Taskmaster, well documented. And she was fabulous on it this year. She was on with Dara O'Brien
She's
as
the
well.
rightful queen.
She was so good.
Yes,
But she couldn't she just didn't have time.
No, to do the podcast as well.
Greedy
So
Taskmaster.
the BBC were like looking for a replacement. We went through guest hosts, and eventually they settled on Kerry Katona, which is mad. Imagine like
That is mad.
You're getting your best friend replaced with a person you loved when you were younger as a pop star.
Like when you were in the GAA hall, shifting Paul Mescal to Whole Again by a Tom McKitten, and the next thing you're
Full
hosting a podcast with Kerry
There we
Katona.
go. That was your words, not mine. Now
There we go.
I
I'm just
shifted.
putting that in there. But what a replacement. The chemistry test. So the story, Wheel of Misfortune is where you just get people involved.
Yes, absolutely. So it's like live line, except for embarrassing stories.
Lovely.
So instead of, talking about whatever's happened that day in Ireland, you kind of talk about whatever's happened in your life. So you're like, oh, something terrible happened to me in college. I made a show of myself. Like it's a lot of stuff now that maybe I couldn't say at 9 o'clock in the morning, but it is great crack. Yeah.
How did it go down with Kerry whenever you talked about your love for her ex, Brian McFadden?
Oh, she's grand about that. I love that you're getting in there with the questions. I went on a hen party to Minehead in Butlins. Fully recommend it if you're looking for a hen party weekend.
Butlins?
Wild.
Like Trebalgan, Mosney, Butlins.
Adults weekend, they call it, and no kids are allowed.
It's wild over in the UK.
Yeah, it is wild. It's like, just imagine 40 hen parties and Brian McFadden. Like, stuff's going to happen. And it was amazing. It was Brian McFadden and Keith Duffy were headlining one of the nights. And they call it Boys Life. I think, is it Boys Life?
Boys Life is the name
or
of
Man's Zone. It's one of them. It's a super group. Yeah. Man's Zone or Boys Life.
But they didn't disappoint.
Oh, they were amazing. Brian McFadden is a great performer. Like, he's good voice. And he's cheeky. I had a great time.
What did Kerry think?
She's genuinely is grand about that. Like, Kerry, you know, like, yeah, she talks about like her, like, you know, Brian on Wheel of Misfortune or anything. She's great.
Because a lot of her
that.
stories, because Kerry Katona on this podcast, like you are, very open about the bad things.
Very frank.
He's very frank about the embarrassing things, and a lot of that would have happened back then. So,
yeah.
Are you, like, she's the crack? You're having fun. It sounds like you're having fun.
We are having fun. And sure, look, if embarrassing bad things happen to you, if you can't talk about it and laugh at it, what's the point of it at all? Do you know?
Can you do it on BBC, though? Are they a bit strict?
No, they're good. They're good. And we were allowed to say everything except one word. And I won't say it here. No. But they only have one rule.
But the podcast has gotten in trouble with the Daily Mail before.
It has, which I'm delighted about.
Yes.
Like, genuinely, it's like a Medal of Honour. And it boosted our listenership. Like, that was the best thing. It said, like, licence fee payers have to pay for a Purile podcast, and they've featured me and Fern. Yeah, delighted.
Well done.
Thank you. Like, genuinely,
I think
my
did I
most
text you?
proudest
I think I might have been like, Alison's made the Daily Mail for being puerile.
I know. My mammy is proud. It's brilliant. It was like my favourite thing to happen to me was getting on the Daily Mail. It's like, I don't want to get on it again, though. Please don't drag up anything else. But I'm happy with that. Yeah.
But you've always been very, I remember like your play Starlet, very open about embarrassing things in your life. You've got a brand new comedy show.
Yeah,
which is called Wet.
Yes, it's about Aqua Aerobics. So
okay.
You were leaning in for an exclusive
there. I was worried. It's about Aqua Aerobics.
I would say it's about Aqua Aerobics. It's my favourite activity in the world. I love it because, like, Aqua Aerobics is an exercise class mostly used by older people and fat people because it protects the joints. Like, genuinely, that's a big thing. And when I trot around in the pool, I just feel like a racehorse that's been injured and my billionaire owner doesn't want to kill me yet. So I'm just being rehabbed up and down. And the music's amazing. Have you heard of me? Look, have you ever done Aqua Aerobics?
I used to do a lot of it, when I was injured,
Here we go, the injured racehorse himself.
Exactly, and you think you're so fast.
I think I'm incredible. Like, I will move the water, and then, like, to be honest with you, because it's older people, they move a lot in the water. So I'm a big splasher. I love to splash. So if I move the water and they move too, I'm like, I am a king of the sea. Like, I feel incredible.
I kind of feel it's embarrassing, though, because if people are watching, you're really going for it, and you're actually moving like a snail.
You're an athlete. They'll be watching you. They'll be like going to a disco and seeing Michael Flatley there, and you're like, oh, what shit is he going to pull? You know what I mean?
Stop giving away all your lines from the show.
I didn't expect you two to really bond over Bluey, a child's cartoon, and Aqua Aerobics. It's been quite a morning.
I'm going to be on the new podcast next.
But there's loads of stuff that's coming up, embarrassing moments.
Wait till you hear my stories with Brian McFadden.
Really?
You talk about so many other things in Wet as well. Like, it's all loads
of stuff, contraception, everything. It's a brilliant kind of like combination of both. I can't talk about that either, really, but you know.
Again, it's embarrassed. We're not like, we're getting taken off air.
I think we need to wrap now.
I think we need to not get into
absolutely.
If people want to get tickets, they can go on to AlisonSpittle.com. Of course, first show is in Belfast on February the 11th, and tickets are available for that. Very best of luck,
It's so
Alison.
lovely coming in.
And you're all around the
great
country.
crack. It's very scary, isn't it? Like, chatting generally on TV because you're like, what's she going to say?
What's she going to say?
But I think I got away with it. I
You
didn't say
did
anything.
incredibly well.
Thank you.
I remember one time you went off on a rant about ketamine once beside Jessica Harrington. So we did very well this morning.
That's true.
It's the fact that you
well.
actually knew there's words that you can't say, and you said, I'm not going to say them here either this morning.
Exactly.
So, well, you're learning, Alison.
You wouldn't believe how many swear words are in my head at the moment. Swimming in filth, my head now.
Let's move on
Anyway.
quick. Time for a quick break.